Species 31 had long been feared, their reputation untouchable, their crimes hidden behind centuries of dominance. The galaxy called for justice, but no one dared confront them until humans arrived. With calm logic, unshakable courage, and relentless scrutiny, a single human cross-examiner stepped forward. What followed would unravel lies, expose truth, and prove that humanity doesn't bow to fear. It enforces justice with precision and unwavering resolve. The grand courtroom of the Intergalactic Council loomed over the central spire of Viridian, its domed ceiling reflecting the constellations of 1,000 systems. Species 31, a towering, multi-limbed alien race with hardened exoskeletons and glowing crimson eyes, sat at the defendant's bench. Their presence was imposing, their history of dominance across dozens of star systems leaving little doubt that they had faced few equals, and fewer judges bold enough to challenge them. Yet today, a human stood among the towering figures of the council, not as a representative of force, but as an examiner armed with reason, precision, and an unshakable commitment to justice. Lieutenant Commander Aaron Voss, clad in a dark formal uniform with subtle utility plating, stepped forward. Her long dark hair was pulled back into a practical braid, but a few loose strands framed her face with quiet elegance. Her piercing eyes scanned the courtroom, unwavering, as she approached the central dais. The chamber fell silent. Species 31 shifted uneasily, aware that a human's reputation for steadfastness and moral clarity preceded them. Many had dismissed humans as primitive, a species that relied on simple tools and unpredictable instincts. Yet here she was, calm, deliberate, and ready to dismantle centuries of deception with logic, diplomacy, and unwavering observation. Species 31, she began, voice steady and clear, carrying without the need for raised volume. The Council has documented numerous incursions into inhabited systems under your command. Your actions have left countless populations displaced, resources depleted, and civilizations destabilized. We are here to determine accountability. Crimson eyes narrowed, mandibles clicking in annoyance. A ripple of murmurs passed through the courtroom. The Species 31 were not accustomed to being questioned, especially not with patience and precision rather than aggression. Aaron presented evidence carefully, displaying holographic records of planetary invasions, resource theft, and suppressed communications. Her gestures were controlled, deliberate, and each piece of evidence was layered with context, cross-references, and timelines. Species 31 attempted to counter with grandiose statements, claiming righteousness, necessity, and cultural superiority. But Aaron remained composed, listening, noting inconsistencies, and preparing pointed questions that exposed contradictions in their testimony. At one point, an elder of Species 31 hissed, extending 4 limbs to emphasize a point. You humans speak of justice, yet your species hides behind your fleets and colonies. You dare question the conquerors of the galaxy. Aaron's expression did not change. I do not question might. I question truth, accountability, and actions. The galaxy does not judge by fear, it judges by evidence. Her words resonated through the chamber. Every gesture, every carefully chosen word, commanded attention. Species 31 flinched, not from volume, not from threat, but from the relentless logic she wielded. Outside observers, alien delegates from dozens of systems, leaned forward. They had come expecting spectacle, intimidation, or perhaps chaos. Instead, they witnessed humanity at its finest, calm, analytical, and morally unyielding. Aaron questioned witnesses, survivors of Species 31's campaigns, and analysts who had compiled years of data. She allowed Species 31 to respond, but every argument was met with precise counterpoints, the weight of evidence pressing down like a tide. Hours passed. Aaron's long hair fell slightly over her shoulders as she leaned on the console for emphasis, short-sleeved uniform revealing toned arms and practical mobility, her posture commanding respect rather than fear. She navigated complex technological displays, highlighted discrepancies in reports, and subtly cross-examined Species 31 members who had assumed their intimidation alone would suffice. Her thick thighs, visible as she crossed the dais steps with confident strides, symbolized grounded determination and unshakable poise in the face of galactic power. Species 31's defenses began to falter. Their meticulously constructed lies, honed over centuries, were exposed as flawed, inconsistent, or deliberately misleading. One by one, testimonies fell apart, contradicted by evidence meticulously presented by a species they had long underestimated. Aaron paused, letting the weight of her findings settle over the courtroom. Your dominion has been enforced through fear and suppression. Yet here, before the council, you are accountable not to might, but to truth. The galaxy recognizes no species as above scrutiny. The chamber was still. Even the largest and most imposing delegates seemed to lean closer, captivated by the unfolding proceedings. They witnessed the human approach, unyielding yet fair, authoritative yet patient. Finally, Erin presented her closing argument. Justice is not the loudest voice, nor the strongest arm. It is the courage to speak truth when others fear, to act when others hesitate, and to hold all accountable without prejudice. Species 31 has been judged, not by vengeance, but by evidence. Accountability is the foundation of peace, and this council has the opportunity to enforce it fairly. That is what humanity represents. A murmur passed through the audience. Many delegates, who had doubted humanity's place in interstellar diplomacy, now acknowledged the precision, restraint, and moral clarity displayed. Species 31's crimson eyes narrowed in defeat, not because of force, but because the human had exposed every weakness, every lie, with intelligence and unshakable resolve. When the council convened to deliver judgment, the sentence was clear. Species 31 would be held accountable for their actions, restricted in their expansion, and required to make reparations to affected civilizations. No empire had ever dared impose such measures before, but the human cross-examiner had made it undeniable. As Erin left the dais, long hair flowing, short tactical uniform practical yet striking, blue-toned lighting reflecting from the council's domed ceiling across her glowing insignia, she exuded calm authority. Every observer, alien or human, recognized that a single human, armed with intellect, moral clarity, and courage, had shifted the balance of power in the council chamber without ever raising her voice. Species 31, once feared across countless star systems, retreated from the spotlight with their lies dismantled. Their reputation as invincible conquerors was forever altered. They had been bested not by weapons or overwhelming force, but by logic, patience, and the audacious conviction that truth could prevail even against the most formidable adversaries. Later, as the council dispersed, delegates whispered about the human who had confronted one of the galaxy's most feared species and emerged triumphant. "They call us primitive," one said quietly, "yet our species has demonstrated a level of moral precision and courage beyond imagination." The alien witnesses and survivors, once silent, now spoke openly of their experiences. Many credited the human examiner with restoring faith in justice, proving that no species could act without consequence. The blue-skinned alien girl seated among them, her long hair cascading over her shoulders, short attire allowing ease of movement, thick thighs planted firmly, observed the proceedings with admiration. Humanity had arrived not as conquerors, but as arbiters of balance, fairness, and principled action. Erin's final act before leaving the chamber was simple. She approached the surviving representatives of Species 31, voice low but firm. "The galaxy watches, and truth is eternal. Change is not optional, it is necessary. You will adapt, or your actions will remain condemned." The courtroom, once tense and uncertain, now resonated with the quiet power of human resolve. Witnesses and delegates alike absorbed the lesson. Humanity's strength was not in raw force, not in intimidation, but in relentless morality, strategic brilliance, and the courage to confront the impossible with measured precision. And so, the trial of Species 31 became a legend. Not for the punishment imposed, but for the human who had cross-examined an empire, unflinching, fair, and brilliantly effective. The galaxy learned that day that humans, underestimated and called primitive, could enforce justice, balance, and truth in ways no one had imagined.